Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes NFL Week 18 overreactions. I, of course, am the Brofect1 AJ. Joining me, as always, the man with the number, sportsbook whisperer, college basketball guru, daddy of the diamond, all hail the king of the links, Mr. Noah Engelbretson. Noah, my man. Hey, hell of a way for Week 18 to go. The games were unbelievable. The Monday that followed obviously led to more coaching positions being opened. We'll get to that in a little bit, but number one takeaway, I think, from the weekend, Noah, is this weekend was the ultimate, it was the definition of this season. It was wild. It was insane. Teams won that needed to win to get in, and some teams didn't, Noah. Some teams could not get it done, but hey, it happens best to the all of us. Only so many teams are allowed in, so let's get into it, Noah. What do you say?
All right, let's go.
All right, Saturday, Noah. Started off hot. Chiefs 31, Raiders 13. The Chiefs were the Chiefs in this one. Excited to see them in the playoffs. Raiders, obviously, I wouldn't say going through a rebuild, but definitely trying to figure some things out going into the offseason. Josh McDaniels, not one of the coaches that was fired after 1 year. It looks like he's going to get another term in office. Noah, do you think that's a good move going forward? And, what do the Raiders need to do?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of firing any coach after 1 year. Especially a coach getting their first go at it at a head coach. I thought it was stupid. But I didn't think Hackett was a great hire in the first place. But I also thought it was ridiculous that they fired him after not even a full season. That was kind of stupid to me. At least give a coach 2 or 3 years. Yeah, that was dumb. So I don't think the Raiders should have fired McDaniels yet, but he's definitely going to be on the hot seat going into next year.
Oh yeah, he needs a winning season next year.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that, especially with how loaded that Raiders roster was, and that the fact that they couldn't get it done this season. I think that's a coaching failure, but again, also his first year, so gonna give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. Not even the high. I say he should be on the warm seat going into next season.
Oh, it's definitely he turned on his seat warmer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if he has another letdown season next year, and if we're halfway, 2/3 of the way through the season, and the Raiders are not performing at all next year, his seat is piping hot.
Oh,
so he could get fired after 2 years. That wouldn't surprise me. So I'm gonna say going into next season, he's on the warm seat to begin with. Not necessarily hot. His seat's not super hot, but it's warming up.
Oh, absolutely. Getting warmer there. Raiders going home. Chiefs getting ready to start. They're going to have a good playoff run. I'm excited to see what they can do this year. But, Chiefs are going to chief. And I think that we just need to remember that going into playoffs. But, yeah. Noah, the nightcap of the day, of the Saturday, Titans, Jaguars. Jaguars get it done at home. 20-16, they wrap up that division. Derrick Henry, 30 carries, 109 yards. He did what he could, but the rest of the team just couldn't hold it. Trevor Lawrence going to be making his first playoff appearance, and I got to say, Noah.
No thanks to himself.
No thanks to himself.
That defense coming up big with the, the pick six, and then the big forced fumble there at the end. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence did not play a good game.
20 for 32, 212 yards and a tutty.
Yeah, but did you watch the game?
Yeah, no, I watched it. He didn't play that well whatsoever.
The stats say he had an okay game. If you go by the eye test and you actually watched it, he kind of played like shit. He didn't turn it over, which is kind of the saving grace there. But yeah, rough way to end the season for the Titans, dropping how many straight? 7 straight after starting 7-3. Yeah, rough. I know they've been very banged up and injured, but come on, you got to beat the Jaguars for a playoff spot there. Not going to matter because either of these teams are going to get blown out by who are they playing? The Chargers. Well, maybe not. I don't know. The might not be a blowout because the Chargers don't give me a whole lot of hope either. The weird thing between the AFC and the NFC, right, is that the top 3 seeds in the AFC, I'm like, okay, those are the 3 best teams in the AFC. Yeah. The NFC, I look at it and I'm like, I'm like, fuck. I mean, every team kind of has a chance. I mean,
Yeah, like to at least get
some
past the
teams,
divisional round.
like, yeah, like the Giants could beat the Vikings. That wouldn't surprise me.
No,
The Cowboys should beat the Bucks, but also I wouldn't be absolutely shocked if somehow they lay an egg and the Bucks somehow fucking advance.
I mean the
Um,
boys haven't been looking that good this year, this week, the last couple weeks either. They
San
look like they're skid.
Francisco, San Francisco should not lose to the Seahawks, but I'm not going to take it out of the realm of possibility. And then, like even the Eagles as the 1 seed, like if Dallas gets past Tampa Bay, whether they're going to Philly or San Francisco, I think Dallas has a very good shot against either of those teams. I mean, Dallas is one of those weird teams where I'm like, they could win or lose every single game. Like, I'm not going to, I'm like, every game's a coin flip for the Cowboys at this point.
It really
Like,
is.
it depends on what Cowboys team shows up because they're good enough to beat every other team in the NFC, but they're bad enough to lose to every other team that's in the playoffs. I feel the same way about like the Vikings are in the same boat. I'm not going to quite put the Giants there because I don't think they're that good.
No, no, the Giants
Like,
definitely get there by mistake. They were that Bears
it
team from 2018 or something that accidentally went to the playoffs.
it should be the Eagles and the Niners out of the NFC in the NFC Championship game, but I feel like one of the two of them is going to choke away a game and not make it there. So
And yeah, that's a tough
so
one.
I don't know. Whereas like I said, AFC, I expect the AFC Championship game to probably be some combination of Bills, Chiefs, and Bengals. I will say, yeah, I don't think the Chargers or Jacksonville are good enough. Miami's going to get absolutely embarrassed at Orchard Park. Baltimore is the one team where I'll say, with Lamar coming back, if he's playing
If
with
he
a
comes
fire lit
back.
under his ass, that, there could be something there.
What if he doesn't come back? I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he's healthy.
He could have come back 2 weeks ago, but the game didn't matter, and then the whole situation happened, right? And then so that virtually made the Baltimore Cincinnati game last week not really matter.
Baltimore Cincy
And
again, running it back. That's going to be fun.
so I feel like Lamar could have played 2 weeks ago if they wanted him to. He's sat out an extra 2 weeks. He should be fully healthy. He should be playing. And we'll see Lamar action Jackson. It's going to be a much different game than it was this past week.
That it will be. That it will be. Ravens definitely. They're missing Lamar. They miss Lamar a lot, and they miss him bad. They'll get him back eventually. Will they sign him though? Who fucking knows? I mean, a lot of these games, some of these games just don't matter. Like Falcons, Buccaneers. I mean, 30-17. Shout out to the Falcons and Ritter for walking away with it.
Shout out to the Bucks for making the playoffs with a losing record. Like I said would happen. Like I said would happen. Fucking.
Hey, I'll give you credit to that one. Brady wins division again and makes the playoffs again. Good for Brady.
I saw somebody breaking down the stats, and like I forget what the exact stat was, but it was something about the fact that like somebody was like, okay, Brady wins his 19th division title in like 21 or 22 years in the league, whatever it is. And then somebody else clapped back and they're like, yeah, well, like he had this division this year. And while he was at New England, he was playing the Jets twice a year, the Dolphins twice a year, and the Bills twice a year when neither of those, like,
no one else was good. Yeah.
There was not a single year where two of those teams were good at the same time. Like
No.
there were random years where like one of the three of those teams had a good season, but it's like, yeah, of course he won the division. He's playing, and that's, obviously Brady doesn't make the division bad. It's just he's gotten lucky with the fact that he's been on really good teams playing against terrible teams in his division for so long that, yeah, of course he's won 19 division titles.
Oh, right.
And this, like, they get in at 8 and 9. It's ridiculous, but you know what? It is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Speaking of which, Patriots going into the Bills, talking about New England. New England needing one of those clutch victories to make it through, and boy, do they not get it. It was a tight one for a while, but Bills do come away with it 35-23. I mean, everyone's talked about it. Great way to start the game with that run back kickoff return. That was awesome. Cool to see. That was just a good sports moment. Like there's so many things that you can recreate in movies and everything like that. But that was one of those moments in sports history that you'll remember watching that. You'll remember seeing that kickoff return and how much it meant to the Bills and how much it meant to that city and everyone in the NFL. So shout out to the Bills for getting that done. That was pretty fucking cool. They're dangerous. They looked fucking good.
How about Naeem? Naeem Hines not doing it once, but doing it twice.
So nice. He needed it twice, man. I mean, dude, that guy's an absolute stud. It made sense why the Colts got rid of him. But I mean, he was a stud in Indy. He's a stud here. The Bills are just firing on all cylinders again. I mean, they are looking dangerous yet again going in. And I mean, I guess we said this last year. Chiefs and Bills looking really good going into the playoffs. What will it lead to? I mean, we saw what it leads to, and maybe it'll get a different outcome this year. But
I still don't trust the Bills. They're so good. They're so good until they're not. Like,
yeah, when they're bad, they're bad.
Like, Josh Allen. Like, obviously they're on a roll. They're a really hot team. They're really explosive. They're really good on both sides of the ball. Until Josh Allen has a game where he turns the ball over 3 or 4 times, and then they're getting their asses handed to him. Like,
yeah,
which is not just like a one-off type of thing. It's happened multiple times this season. It happens multiple times every season. When you're playing the better competition, it's bound to happen somewhere along the road. I don't think, and especially because they didn't get the first round bye, I don't think they can string together 4 straight games without careless turnovers.
The turnovers will kill him, especially, it'll kill him more in the postseason than it did in the regular season. I don't know. I'm with you. I'm not here to crown them Super Bowl champions whatsoever. But I mean, hey, we're here to make an analysis, and they're fucking hot right now going into the playoffs. I mean,
not as hot as the Chiefs.
Chiefs, they look so fucking good. It was so annoying at one point. I tweeted out like it pisses me off almost watching how good Patrick Mahomes is. I guess it's because I'm a Chicago Bears fan and we should have had him. We fucking should have had him, but no, it's okay. God, fuck.
Yeah, but is he the same player though? If the Bears draft him, because the Bears
no. He
Bears
have
a reputation
career.
of ruin. Yeah, Bears have a reputation of ruining quarterbacks' careers. And he sat out that first year learning from Alex Smith, and he's got Andy Reid as his head coach. So of course, that plays a big factor into it. You can.
Yep, and Matt
obviously
he
deserves a lot of credit, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Bears draft him, and you got Matt Nagy coaching him, and they force him into playing his rookie year.
Hey, he's coaching him now. He's his fucking quarterback coach. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and mark up that irony. And, hey, Noah, let's go ahead and talk about the team that is officially on the clock, the Chicago Bears. The Bears. They get the shit kicked out of them by the Vikings at home, 29-13. That's what happens when you have Nathan Peterman under the gun, and you're trying to make sure that your hopefully good quarterback it doesn't get murdered behind that offensive line. Vikings-Giants, I think, is such an appropriate first-round matchup. Like, I think that is just perfect. It is. Let's just get the mediocrity out of the way fast and let these two shit teams. I mean, it was a hell of a game they had a couple weeks back, but, I mean...
Yeah, and I think it's beautiful because these are two teams that have looked really good for a lot of the season, but then you take a deeper look and you're like, yeah, they're not really that good.
They're not good.
And both of them are like that. They're like the two teams that embody that the most in the entire playoffs, where it's like, oh, hey, they're winning a lot of games. And then you like watch the games and you're like, oh, they're kind of bad.
They're
kind of not that good.
Yeah, not that good. And we're seeing that. And
yeah. So just watch, because this is might be the most fun game of the entire first round of the playoffs. It's going to be some 33-30, just nail biter. Somebody's going to win on like a 62-yard game-winning field goal. Just watch. That's like, or somebody's going to lose the game on like a doink.
Oh yeah,
off the upright. Something crazy is going to happen with this game. It's going to be a wild ending. It's going to be neck and neck. It just has all the makings of being absolutely, completely entertaining game unless you're a fan of either team, in which case you are like literally losing your fucking mind the entire
Oh,
game.
the
Like
entire fucking game.
both teams' fan bases are going to be like in the boat where they're like, yeah, this team makes me drink,
Hey, hopefully
and
that game's
that's
on
gonna
Saturday.
and that's gonna continue.
Oh, it
That would
will.
be a great. I do hope that game's on Saturday. That would be a great Saturday game.
That would be a really good Saturday game. Let me check. It's got to be on Saturday, right? Come on, you motherfuckers.
Did they announce the schedule yet for the games?
Oh, they put it on Sunday. It's the early game Sunday.
No, at least it's not the Monday night one. Like I without seeing the schedule, I hope they put. I hope they put Seattle, San Francisco, or Miami, Buffalo on Sunday.
No, so you got Dallas and Tampa on Monday. Oh, Sunday night, you mean?
No, I meant Monday.
Yeah, that's That's the only Monday game.
What do I do like buzzkill the end of the wild card weekend?
Hey, Sunday night you get Bengals Ravens though.
Now that'll be a fun one.
Saturday night,
I feel like
Chargers.
So here's what what do we have scheduling? We got 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and 1 on Monday.
Yes, sir.
Here's how I would have scheduled it, right? Because Saturday is what, an afternoon and an evening,
Yeah.
and then we got like a noon game, or I guess 11 for you, 11 or 10 for you West Coast people, and then an afternoon and an evening game on Sunday, and then a Monday night game.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
correct? Okay. And I want to hear your opinion on this too, AJ, after I go through this.
Let me hear it.
So I'm throwing Chargers Jaguars as that Saturday afternoon game.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Because, it should be a fun game, but also who the fuck cares? Kind of the same as the Vikings-Giants game, but like even more so.
But where do you put that game then?
I put Giants-Vikings at noon on Sunday.
What? No. You put that at Saturday night so that I can go to a bar and get aggressively drunk and bet the over. Well, I guess we do have Monday off next week.
Do we? I don't.
Oh, I do. It's MLK. Shout out MLK.
Yeah, I do not have that off. But I think my Saturday night game. Ooh. I don't know. This is kind of tough, actually.
Your only other option for Saturday night is Baltimore, Cincy.
No, I want that as my Sunday night football game, though.
Okay, then what do you want as your Saturday night cap? Because you're not going to put Miami and the Bills there.
No, that, like I said, either Miami, Buffalo. No, Miami, Buffalo's that's my Monday night game. Because you know
so
what,
then you
and
bury
nobody
the Cowboys and Tom Brady in the afternoon games.
Yeah, I put Dallas Tampa Bay because I don't think it's going to be a particularly interesting game. That's my Sunday afternoon game, and my Saturday night game, Seattle and San Fran.
Ooh, that's a good Saturday night game.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what because I get all the excitement and all my nerves and everything jacked up Sunday morning with the Giants and Vikings. Have a little cool down, watch Dallas
Tampa,
go in and get their revenge on Tampa Bay. First game of the season, by the way. Gonna have a rematch there. And then I get myself re-jacked up for the Baltimore-Cincinnati game, which I think is going to be a really good game. I'm sure Cincinnati's going to be a 7 to 10 point favorite, but mark my words, that game should be a coin flip. If Lamar's playing, which he should be.
We'll get to that later this week. No, I mean, we can cover more games, but like nothing really matters anymore. We have the playoff teams and we know who's in the dance. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. Unless there's, some hot take before we talk about the Sunday night game that you want to get off your chest.
No, I want to hear your TV schedule. Like, how would you
Oh,
put it?
my bad. So I'm with you. I think Chargers Jacksonville, I think is that perfect. Like, hey, good morning. Yes, there's football on. Turn it on if you want
Welcome to the
to.
playoffs.
Yeah, welcome to the playoffs. Here's a little appetizer. Let's get you started.
Was like Cincinnati Vegas last year.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Cincy Vegas, it could be a high
It's a
scoring
good
game. It could
appetizer.
be a defensive game, but you're going to see some big plays and some big runs come off. So yeah, give me a nice appetizer there with the Chargers and Jacksonville, and then you know what? Yeah, and then Saturday night, let me get my juices pumping a little bit. I'm going Giants Vikings. Like I said, let me go get drunk at a
Okay.
bar and bet the over. I mean, let's get hyped up. Maybe I'll go to a club after. Probably not because I got to handicap the games for tomorrow, but we'll get to that later. Sunday morning, let me wake it up. Let me wake up nice and early, nice and easy with Dallas and Tom. And if I don't like that game, shit, give me Dolphins Bills. I like that in the morning there. I can either watch, two of the biggest names that is in the NFL, the Cowboys and Tom Brady, or I can watch the Buffalo Bills absolutely dismantle a team that doesn't have either of their two quarterbacks. So give me the Bills and them there. And then the lone afternoon game. The lone afternoon game. Do I have too many games?
No, so you said
2, 4.
Chargers. You said Chargers, Jags, and then Vikings, Giants there on Saturday.
Yeah,
You're
and then I got
opening up with Buffalo, Miami.
yes.
Okay, so who's your Sunday afternoon
Oh, Sunday
game?
afternoon game. Give me Dallas Tom, like we said, give me a nice little ease into
Okay.
there. Um give me give me the NFC West. Sunday night football, Seattle, San Francisco. I like it there from San Francisco. Grudge match, I like it. I like it there. I think that's a nice way. But then again, I am partial to the NFC West. And then I think that leads perfectly into Monday Night Football. Let's end with probably the best game that will be this weekend, and that is Ravens Bengals, especially if Lamar Jackson's playing. I mean, I'm down to just anticipate that one all Monday, bro. That would be a great way to end football, like wild card weekend, honestly.
NFL to give Lamar a little bit more time to come back. That wouldn't be out of the
Yeah, that's what I was
cards,
thinking.
out
Give
of
it,
character.
give it a little. Let me make sure Lamar's in there, so I have a damn good game.
Yeah, I refuse to entertain the narrative about the NFL being rigged or anything,
Yeah.
but I do think they do schedule these games to build storylines and all that, which makes sense. It is an entertainment business at the end of the day. I refuse to entertain the fact that they influence the outcomes of the games
Yeah.
or that the refs do, but there is some degree of influence in how they schedule things.
Some degree. Not a lot though. Not a lot. Yeah, the NFL's
Yeah, I mean,
not rigged. That's bullshit.
it's probably. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the NFL's no, NHL is more fair, but I mean, the NFL's way more fair than the NBA or the MLB.
Oh my god. No question about it.
So if you want to talk about fairness, it is funny how much people get worked up about that too. And it's like, you know what? These are grown ass men getting paid a lot of money playing a game. They're not getting paid to push some narrative, and they're all super competitive, as most athletes are, and they're all trying to win. So, like, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
If you want to talk about fairness, yeah, the NBA and the MLB fucking suck at fairness, and they don't care about it. The NHL or NFL, sorry, too many acronyms. NFL at least pretends to try to care.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for the most fair out of any of them, I'd say the NHL takes the cake in that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
NFL is definitely second among the big four.
No, definitely. And I mean, as a guy who played baseball for 12 years, the biggest bunch of cheaters I've ever met in my life is a baseball players. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Simple as that, especially when it comes to baseball. I was stealing signs before I knew how to read. Simple as that, brother. Yeah, fuck off, everyone. Chill out. It's the NFL. You really think that they're going to go around rigging this shit? No shot.
Well, my favorite and our segue into, because you wanted to talk about the Packers game, was the whole week leading up on Twitter. Everyone's like, "Oh, let's see how the NFL rigs this to push Aaron Rodgers into the playoffs." Well, guess what? It didn't fucking happen. All you
No.
people, the last 2 fucking weeks, people have been complaining about that before the games have even been played, and they're like, "Oh, wow, okay, so they put Green Bay on the night game, so Seattle wins, and the Lions have nothing to play for." And I'm like, you do
Yeah.
realize who the Lions head coach is, right? And I've been saying this the entire past week. I'm like, Dan Campbell is not gonna fucking care if they're
No.
eliminated from
No,
playoff
Dan
contention,
Campbell don't
and
give a shit.
neither will his team, because they have his energy. And the Lions were gonna they might have even played harder because they had nothing to play for.
Oh, no, they did have something to play for, though, and that is screwing a division rival out of a playoff berth. The Lions, I mean, that, you know, that was that was just beautiful by the Lions, And Noah, I was rooting for the Packers there. I had my money on Aaron Rodgers to go to the playoffs again, all right? And I lost it all. I should have bet on Dan Campbell like I had been doing all season. But hey, we live and we learn. The Lions were just playing football at the end of the day. They were playing loose, they were playing hard, and they were there to gnaw all the kneecaps off. And I think they got most of them. Excuse me. I love this Lions team. I love the way they're playing. And hey, I really wish the season could have gone at least one more week, try to get them a playoff spot. But they're going to be looking really good next year. I think another year in the draft, another year in free agency. I think players are going to start to want to go to Detroit. I would not be surprised if we see a big name sign with Detroit. I'm not going to start speculating yet. We're not in the offseason, but
I don't know about that. Not about big names wanting to sign with Detroit, but I don't know that Detroit's going to really pursue a lot of big names. I think the identity of this team is like Dan Campbell wants these guys who are like back against the wall is not the right term for it, but he wants these guys who have been counted out, who have a lot of talent. He wants these guys that have something to prove, and Dan Campbell's going to go after those type of guys, and he's going to continue to do so. And it's been a good recipe for success. If they continue to draft well, they get these gritty type of players. Lions are going to be good going forward. Jared Goff, I would assume, gets a contract extension here in the offseason. He certainly proved his worth this season, which I was his entire time in LA, I was shitting on Jared Goff for not being a very good quarterback, and then he goes to Detroit, and last year I'm like, okay, he still kind of sucked.
Did we ever think we would say this though? That hey, that quarterback up in Detroit, he's pretty good. He deserves an extension. I mean, shit, it's just weird because he had Matt Stafford there for so long. I thought they were going to go through some type of a quarterback search to find their identity, but I mean, shit,
no, I think
they found it.
They found his guy. He's in the right system. And I haven't said any bad words about Jared Goff all season because he's not giving me a reason to.
No, he hasn't given anyone a reason to. But
I even had him on my fantasy team for multiple weeks towards the end of the season. He carried me to a third place because Devontae Adams had to lay a brick in the semifinals and Ramondre Stevenson. But, it's okay. I'm not salty about it at all.
No,
2 third-place finishes is totally where I wanted to be. No, it's, Lions got a bright future ahead of them. Packers, a lot of fucking question marks.
Now, hold on. Before we get into it, I think I want to know before we start, because yes, you're right. There are a lot of question marks there, but I guess what gives first? Is it LaFleur? Is it Rodgers? Is it Gutekunst? Is it, because it's one of those three.
What do you mean what gives first?
Who's gone first, I guess?
I mean, if Rodgers decides to retire him, but LaFleur's not going anywhere. Gutekunst isn't going anywhere. Joe Barry, defensive coordinator, he's not going anywhere. Matt LaFleur basically said he's totally open to bringing Nathaniel Hackett back in as offensive coordinator. No, I don't think there's hardly any changes with the Packers, other than the fact that Rodgers' body language and everything like that, it kind of seems like he's done this. I'm going to say I think this is his last game ever, especially because he got asked in a post-game interview. Somebody said something along the lines of, oh, well, there's no way you can walk away from $58.3 million guaranteed. And Rodgers said, sure, I can.
Oh, but that's so Rodgers being Rodgers. I think that's you getting your hopes up that he's done.
I'm not. I would love to have him back, but just his body language, his body language, and watching him post game, him and Randall Cobb. I mean, it was just like they were walking off into the sunset there. And he did say he's not going to drag anything along this season. He's gonna relatively quickly let everybody know what's going on, which I'm glad about that because and he realizes too the Packers have a decision to make. If Rodgers comes back, they can't pay Jordan Love a contract where he's not on rookie contract numbers. So the Packers have to move on from Jordan Love if Aaron Rodgers is coming back. If Rodgers doesn't come back, the Packers probably pay Jordan Love to a short-term contract, 2-3 years.
See what he can do.
See what he can do. Yeah, I don't know. I think that was the last game we saw Aaron Rodgers play.
Maybe
he's gonna go sip his ayahuasca tea on a beach somewhere, and that's gonna be the end of that.
That I don't know. And I guess that's what's hard for me is because we can talk about the Brady and Rodgers comparison all we want to and everything, but I mean they're both older when it comes to football. They're both fairly successful, let's say. That from just everything that we've seen from Rodgers in his career, everything that we know about Rodgers and everything. That doesn't seem like how he wants to walk away. And I'm not saying now, yes, everyone wants to walk away winning a Super Bowl, and the only person who probably could have done that is Tom Brady. I'm not saying Rodgers wants
Peyton Manning
too. You're right. My bad.
Well, Peyton Manning did it. Tom Brady's not going to get to do it because
he can't get back to the Super Bowl.
he won't even be back there.
But
he made the playoffs with a losing record this year.
If I'm Rodgers and I'm looking back at this year and everything, I'm looking at, the hardships we went through in the beginning, us finally clicking and firing, and then, going on this run we went to just to get it taken away by the Lions. I don't know. That just screams to me Rodgers' revenge year, at least to win the NFC North one more time. Something's not sitting right with me. I believe last year that he actually had a chance to retire and might retire, but this year, and I think he's just leaning too much into it for me. I think that's what he's actually like giving it thought and words, or at least he's portraying that. But no, I think we get one more year of him putting on the belt, and
I don't think so.
That's going to be an interesting story. That'll be a fun one to keep going.
And I don't know how quickly he'll make that announcement. It'll definitely be before the draft.
Yeah.
My guess is give it a month or two to simmer, and then we're going to be hearing, and I think it's going to be announcement of retirement.
We'll see. We'll see when the press conference is called, if one's called. If they call a press conference about it, he's definitely retiring.
Oh, he's going to pull his entire theatrics into it, though, and like once he decides he's going to retire, he's going to make it a whole big fucking thing. Because it is Aaron Rodgers still. Like, it's not just going to be like, oh, I've decided to retire. He's going to be like, he's going to inform the Packers and inform everybody else, and then all of a sudden he's going to be like, boom, bam, surprise, retirement.
We'll see. I don't think he's done. But moving from a guy who might be done with football to guys that are definitely done with their current positions. The pink slips were handed out today, Noah. Most notably, I think Cliff Kingsbury being dismissed from the Arizona Cardinals.
And Steve Keim stepping away for medical reasons.
Yeah, go ahead and wrap that one up in a bow. Fucking kill me with that. That's bullshit. But it doesn't matter. I hope Steve Keim gets better and is doing okay. But hey, they had a 4-13 year. They had a winning season last year that led to an embarrassment in the playoffs that the Cardinals couldn't shake off in the beginning of the season. Thank God. Thank God. I mean, now listen, there is a lot wrong with this Arizona Cardinals team. I won't go as far to say that it's just the coaching staff, it's just the GM or anything like that. There was an issue there, and you know, unfortunately, when you're looking at who to let go and who to keep, you know, the guy that you just signed for $240 million with 140 guaranteed is a hell of a lot harder to get rid of than a guy in Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, yes, Cliff needed to go. I think the Cardinals need a whole sweep. I think we need to go into a full rebuild here. I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is with the team after this season. I
think you trade him. I think you trade him while he's got value.
I agree.
You trade him while he's got value.
Trade him. I mean, you're at least going to get a first-round pick for him, so try to move him before the draft so we can have 2 top 10 first-round picks, hopefully. That's what I think you do that.
As good as D-Hop is, he's also, 34 years old, 33, 34? I don't know that you get a first-rounder for D-Hop.
I think you can get a first-rounder for D-Hop. And I think the Patriots would give us a first-round for D-Hop.
I don't know. I think some team could maybe get a second round, like a second and a fourth for D-Hop and get him because he is getting older and he's on a very expensive contract. He hasn't been able to stay completely healthy either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, especially like receivers and running backs, they start getting up there in age. They're not, it's not quite as certain of a thing. As good as D-Hop is and still is currently, I don't know that he gets a first-round pick in return. Second round, yeah.
Fine.
Sure. But I still think you trade him if you're the Cardinals because his value is going to only go down from here.
It is.
As far as trading.
And we're in no position. We are in no position whatsoever to make a run or go on a run whatsoever where he would be valuable. What is he good for right now? He's good for selling tickets. And yeah, we still need to sell tickets and everything, but we need a team. We need a team too. And so if we can get rid of him, get some stock, maybe get some good linemen or something out of it. I mean, I'm all for trading. I'm honestly, I'm so down for a fire sale. Hey, what's your best offer? Let's go. And I'm not just talking about D-Hop. I'm talking about everyone. I think the Cardinals go into a mindset of, hey, let's go ahead. Let's rebuild this thing from the ground up. We know we got to deal with Kyler for a couple more years. Unless Carolina wants to come in and pick up that deal. I don't know what their cap space is looking like. But Carolina's been desperate for a quarterback for forever. You already got a deal worked out. So just go ahead and pick up that contract. And then, hey, Sean Payton, how you doing, bud? Come on in. Get yourself a new quarterback from the draft, and let's get it.
Sean Payton doesn't want to coach the Cardinals.
Yeah, he does. He just doesn't know it yet.
No, he doesn't. No, he's going to go to Denver. Would have gone to the Cowboys, but I think Mike McCarthy saved his job this season.
Unless they're one and done in the playoffs.
But here's a name for
Mike McCarthy's still in the hot seat.
AJ, I'm going to throw a name out for head coach for the Cardinals. Let me know what you think. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Brian Flores.
Ooh.
I think he brings discipline that the Cardinals have lacked.
Oh yeah.
Under Cliff Kingsbury and even with Steve Keim. I mean, you've seen it on the in-season Hard Knocks. Like none of those coaches are inspiring or anything. Like it doesn't matter. I think Brian Flores would bring a complete culture change, which is kind of what the Cardinals need. And it would give him a second chance at head coaching after he was, I say wrongfully fired from Miami, but, obviously that's not a hot take or anything, but some people are like, oh yeah, well, blah, 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 look at, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, no, he shouldn't have been fired in the first place. Yeah, I think that could be a real interesting hire. And I would love to see Brian Flores get another shot at coaching. I think the Cardinals and him would be both, a good fit for each other. And it would be interesting to see what he can do there because he took over a shitty Miami team, finally was starting to turn them around, and then, the owner tries to pay him to tank games, ends up winning 7.
Allegedly.
After a terrible start that season, rips off 7 in a row, barely misses the playoffs. and he's won his last 7 games as a head coach.
Yeah.
He's 7-0 in his last 7 games as a head coach.
That's a lot different than 0-7, Cliff. You motherfucker.
Again, who the fuck gets fired after winning 7 straight? That's
when
what I want to know.
Sketchy shit's going on. No, when sketchy shit's going on. Honest to God, you bring me Brian Flores to Arizona, and I'll show you a team that actually has a fucking shot.
Gotta hire the right GM. Gotta hire the right GM still, but if they get the right GM in there, I think Brian Flores is a great head coach for them. Honestly, I'm surprised he's not a guy who's not being talked about more with these head coaching vacancies, because I think he absolutely deserves another head coaching shot, and I think he'll be a tremendous pickup for anybody.
Yeah, no, he would be great. He's with the Steelers right now, right?
Yeah, he's their not defensive coordinator, but defensive
assistant or some shit like that.
Not assistant. He's like their defensive consultant, strategist, whatever the hell they called it.
Whatever it is, so Miami still pays the contract.
Something, I don't know, but yeah.
Interesting shit. Also, shout out Lovie Smith, fired after one season. Yeah. Poor bastard. That sucks.
In his second go around, bad look for the Texans. Terrible look for the Texans.
Terrible.
Yeah, obviously. Terrible. I'm not going to say it's definitely what it is, but a lot of people saying, obviously, the Texans just making a diversity hire there and then firing him after one season because they didn't want to hire him in the first place and they knew they were going to be bad. Not saying that's the case, but not a good look for the Texans either way. Although Lovie Smith knowing that he's going to get fired, going for it, and screwing the Texans out of the number 1 overall pick, knowing awesome. that he is most likely getting fired after that game, and saying, "Fuck it, we're going for the win. I'm going to screw the team out of the first overall pick."
Thank you, that. And hey, and Lovie did that for the Bears. He did that for the team that he loved being the head coach of the most. So shout out Lovie Smith. Still a Bear.
I was going to say it was more of a. A captain always goes down with the ship type of thing.
Sure, we can go with that too. At least it's kind of fun though. I finally have something to look forward to as a Bears fan. For the next couple of months, pick. I have something to.
It's got to be Will Anderson. Got to be Will Anderson.
You think?
I can't believe, and I saw it a couple times on Twitter. It wasn't quite the original idea because I wasn't paying attention to the sports book odds for the number 1 overall draft pick. But the Texans were beating the Colts and the Bears were losing to the Vikings. And the sportsbook still had quarterbacks at the top odds for the number 1 overall pick, which a little surprising, right? Because you're like, if the Bears take the number 1 overall pick, they're not drafting a quarterback. And, maybe they're considering the fact that the Bears trade back a couple spots to somebody, accumulate some more draft picks. But I'm like, I would be thinking Jalen Carter on Georgia, Will Anderson on Alabama should be like number 1 and 2 there for the number 1 overall pick if the Bears decide to hold on to it. And the books were a little late to adjust their odds. I haven't looked quite at what they are now, but there was definitely some period of time in there. And obviously the 2 games weren't finalized, but I don't know why Vegas wasn't,
why were
messing with those odds more constantly or taking down those odds while the Bears and Texans were playing. But let's see. Will that be under team props?
Yeah, team props.
Futures.
Oh, futures.
No, don't have it there. Never mind. I'm not seeing anything right now.
Maybe they're down now.
It looks like it, but yeah, they apparently on certain books they were not down at the time. The books were a little late to adjust that. So if you got in on any of the top 2 or 3 defensive players on the board here, you are sitting pretty, I think. because you got an absolute odd steal over Vegas.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Well, shout out. Noah, we got a lot to do before we get into Super Wild Card Weekend. You got anything else to say about Week 18 or any of the matchups going forward?
Just looking forward to watching it. It'll be exciting. It's gonna be good. Obviously, we'll probably cover our bets and picks later this week.
Hell yeah.
Um, shit, man, Georgia up 52-7 on TCU. This has been a really boring national championship game, and I hope Super Wildcard Weekend's a lot more exciting.
Oh, let's hope. Noah, thanks for doing this. Everyone, thanks for listening and watching. All 224 DGens out there that are subscribed, thank you so much. Become one of those DGens. Hit that like, share, and subscribe down below. Yeah, like Noah said, we'll be back later this week with our Super Wildcard Weekend picks. Make sure you're here for it. We'll see you then. I've been the Brofect1 AJ. That's the Money Train Noah. We'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.